For today's Songs of Praise, I'm all at sea on a lifeboat in Falmouth in Cornwall as the RNLI braces itself for its busiest time of year. Diane's also on the coast in Southend-on-Sea to discover the inspiring story behind the Fishwives Choir.
I can't believe that the thing that I loved all this time, that God gave back to me.
And I'm in Wiltshire to find out how one church is really ramping up its efforts to get young people through its doors.
We'll be going ashore too because Falmouth is in the middle of a sea shanty festival, and we've got some great hymns and uplifting songs in the show, including an emotional performance by rising opera star Angel Blue. But first, to get us all singing an old-time favourite. It's the longest day of the year and many of us can see the holidays in sight. But time off for us means extra work for the volunteers at the RNLI as they gear up for the summer season. Falmouth is Cornwall's busiest lifeboat station, and I've been invited out on patrol by a man who spent a lifetime at sea, and he thanks more than his lucky stars for bringing him home safely every time. The sea holds many hidden dangers, as the crews of Britain's lifeboats know only too well. Last year they rescued more than 10,000 people across the UK in all weathers. Carl Beardmore knows all about the perils of the sea from first-hand experience.
Flat, calm or rough. When we come between the two headlands, I always say, yeah, thank you, Lord. And I don't think there's a sailor or a seaman that wouldn't do the same thing when they actually tie up alongside in some, in their own way.
You must have seen so much. What stands out in your mind?
There was a girl who was very ill on a beach, and our job was literally just to go to the paramedics and give them a hand. While we were there, she died 3 times and they resuscitated. But we couldn't communicate with her. And just like the films, I had this idea, I thought, oh, I wonder. And I held her hand and I said, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand, which is exactly what she did. And we got her ashore to the helicopter, and that's the last memory I've got is of her squeezing my hand, like a thank you. It's just what we do for, I think.
23 years of volunteering for the RNLI. Why did you do it?
I have always wanted to help. It's like being a Christian. It's weird in a weird way. It's about dedication and commitment, and I commit my life to Christ. But I've also committed my time and my life. You know, we have to give up an awful lot, and sometimes it's even family. You know, because the boat has to be covered.
Now, I happen to know, Carl, Little Bird told me that you quite like singing a sea shanty yourself. What do you like to sing?
Lower Lights or Brightly Beams is a hymn that was written by a Sunday school teacher in America.
I'd love to hear some, can I?
Yeah, sure. Brightly beams our Father's mercy from his lighthouse evermore. It encompasses what we do with my faith as a Christian and also what we do on the sea. Of the lights along the shore.
Don't hold on the ropes, don't climb up the mast. If you see a sailing ship, it might be your last. So get
Now in its 12th year, the International Sea Shanty Festival draws in singing groups from as far away as Canada. It was first started by local singers in Falmouth as a fundraiser for the RNLI. Later in the programme, we'll be hearing from another group of singers, the Fishwives Choir, who've also come together for a special cause. But first, a rousing song of praise. Let's not forget it's Father's Day today, and to mark it, next we meet Angel Blue, a rising star in the opera world. She'll be remembering her own dad in a special way very shortly. A father who played a huge part in inspiring her career.
I had a great childhood. The house was incredibly full, music was everywhere, and so was Faith. Opera is a huge part of me because when I first heard it, it made me cry. I must have been about 5 or 6 years old, and my father was playing a record of Lily Pons. I thought, wow, this is a wonderful sound. I wish I could make that sound. And because my dad was a fabulous musician, he started to teach me. After I graduated from high school, I was very much interested in going to college to just see how far I could get with opera. My dad's passing hit me very hard. We're a Christian family. God is our rock, period. But my dad was sort of the, he's the human covering that God gave us, I felt. It was a very difficult time for me because I didn't want to sing. I thought, well, who's going to help me now when I need to warm up? Who's going to help me with the difficult phrases in music? But 2 months after he passed away in February of 2007, I met Maestro Placido Domingo. He invited me to be a part of his Young Artist program, and I sort of felt like that was a divine way for me to see that I had to keep going. I think the only kind of void that I feel is that I'm not able to just talk to my father. I'm not able to touch him. But what I would say is that, in a way, my dad sort of passed the torch to Maestro Domingo. I first heard He's Been Faithful when I was 9 years old, and my dad was singing it in church. And I remember feeling that every single word meant something to him. I thought, wow, I don't think I could ever sing that song that way. Little did I know that I would be singing that song at my father's funeral. And it was at that time, singing He's Been Faithful and seeing my dad in a casket, that I realized that the song actually meant something